It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Do Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. It's the day the Lord has. So, where were you yesterday? Can you hear me? I was just told I can't be heard. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. All right. But just in case, I'm going to continue to talk. Where were you yesterday? Oh, we have some conversation yesterday with the pastor team over here on this Do Time with Pastor Steph. Well, one of the things we talked about was the fact that the sweep, this mass deportation, has not gone very well. Nope. They done ran out of space to put all the 8,000 plus people that they've been collecting all this time. Now, I don't know how you planned on doing this when you didn't even have enough space to snatch up all the people. That didn't even make any sense. What else did we talk about? We talked about, they caught some illegals over at the car wash in Philadelphia. Well, that's not a shocker either, because anybody that knows anybody who done been to a car wash, if you can't find illegals anywhere else, you definitely gonna find them at the car wash. And put my other headphones in just to make sure you're hearing me. I didn't get a thumbs up. Let me get a thumbs up. Let me see if you hear me. Give me a thumbs up. I want to know. I don't want to be talking and you can't hear me. All right. What else did we talk about? Oh, we talked about the pastor in the church. Thank you, my girl Ketty. Thank you. The pastor in the church who made the announcement to the transgender in the room that they needed to leave up out the room so that no one would be distracted. Yeah, he said some real insulting things. Yeah, how, I don't want you up in here, and my salvation is connected to you sitting up in here as a transgender, and it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. And the pastoral team yesterday did not appreciate that conversation or those comments. And the worst part about it is he had his amen corner. Yeah, you could hear them. Amen. Yeah. Clapping it up in the background. And I'm saying to myself, well, what was that person supposed to be feeling? And we don't know. Again, like I said yesterday, we don't know what it took for that individual to get up in that church house. We don't know. I envisioned this individual hearing mama or grandmama say, you know what? God ain't pleased with that life. You need to go to church. And they went. And unfortunately, that is what they found. Yeah. just some unpleasant, unwelcoming comments. And the environment, that community that they were sitting in, was not conducive to a changed life. No. So I don't know. What are we going to do? Are we going to invite the people to church and then let them just walk their journey? Let them go through their journey. Are we going to respect the fact that they need some time, like the rest of us need time? Like the rest of us needed time when we got to God. You know, Pastor KL said something that was real profound yesterday. For this individual, everything was on the outside, but we had no concept of what was going on the inside. Yeah, the rest of us, we got internal stuff going on. You can't see our sin when we walk in unless we actually do something. You can't see what is going on with us unless we actually act it out or speak it out. But for those who come into church and they're silent and they just need to be there, they want to be there, they're trying to get a change in their life, we have a responsibility to them. We have a responsibility to welcome. And it is no short of what we needed when we got to the church doors. So, it was, what was interesting? Oh, let me just add this. I don't know, yesterday, Pastor Brenda sent me, yesterday evening, she sent me some video of a pastor who was warning other pastors to be gentle and to be very careful with these cameras that are running. Everybody's ready to pull out a camera. And I don't think that the video we showed yesterday was of a pastor who wanted what he was saying necessarily filmed, because it just looked like it was somebody sitting in the congregation. It didn't look like, somebody who was having their service taped or videoed or streamed or anything like that. But one of the things that this particular, I think he was a pastor, he said, we have to be very sensitive to the cameras that are running, and to make sure that when we're ready to say things, we make sure all the cameras are shut down and we do whatever we do and say whatever we need to say in private, because of the repercussion and the sensitivity behind your conversation. And it was so weird that she stumbled upon that yesterday, and we had just gotten finished talking about that. It's real. It's real. We have to be very aware of the people who are in the congregation who just want to show what's going on, just want to be nosy, just want to, have something to take back, to have something to post, and they will post it. They will post it. And it's very possible that this pastor who was talking to this individual in the congregation had no idea that a camera was even rolling. But unfortunately, it was. And the world got to see exactly how he handled this particular situation. Now, I don't know how he normally handles situation, but he handled this one very poorly. Yeah, that he didn't do a good job on this one at all. So we're going to pray for the individual who he was talking to. We're going to pray for the Amen Corner. We're going to pray for those who have been in that situation themselves, and they were offended, and they will not return to church. They not only have left the church, but they've left God. They have become extremely disenchanted in who God or Jesus is. And you can't sell them on the fact that Jesus loves, God loves. Because if this is any indication of how Jesus and God love, then oh well, it ain't happening. So they're not going back. So we're gonna keep just these people who have experienced these things, we're going to keep them in prayer. We're going to keep them lifted, because none of us right now can afford to walk away from God. Not one of us can afford to walk away from God. I don't care how much you set up in church. Those of us who are pastors, those of us who are deacons, none of us can afford to walk away from church. And people feel like this is like optional now. They feel like it's optional. And, I can go, I don't have to go. No, we need that community. And unfortunately, as much as those of us who are trying to pull them in, we keep telling them this is a community where there's love and no, you're going to experience some other wicked and hurt and sinful people. Plain and simple as that. And we can't control each and every individual, especially when the congregation gets to be larger and larger and larger. So we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to keep them lifted in love and, lifted in prayer, and just trust that God will, send his healing power on their life, and they can trust God's people once again. Okay. So that was our Let's Talk About It Tuesday Church Folk Day. Well, today is Wooww Wednesday, y'all. Yes, we've made it halfway through the week, and thank God for that. Well, just because we are now live, Facebook Live, YouTube, we're going to say hello to our girl Viv in a minute. Yes, Socially Conscious is still coming down on Wednesday mornings. We can't go without our Wooww Wednesday. All right. So go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. George Additional. I'm a cardiologist. Number one, exercise. So the American Heart Association recommends doing 150 minutes of moderate exercise or
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. And as always, you run into these crazy technical difficulties when you want to put up your videos. It's okay because, listen, it's all right. Listen, we know that this month is Heart Awareness Month. Yes, you need to make sure you go to your cardiologist. You need to make sure you get your checkup. You need to make sure you are following up on any meds that you're taking so that you stay healthy. There you go. All right. And don't say Pastor Steph didn't warn you. So we're going to have to, sometimes bypass when the Wi-Fi is acting a little quirky. It's all right. It's all right. Well, I want to invite you again and thank you for joining me on our new location in the mornings, Facebook Live, Coach for Christian Life, and YouTube Live, A Closer Walk Christian Talk Show. So here's the rules of being live video. If you are in the room, I need you to check in. Other than that, I don't know you're on. Okay? So we got to check in from our girl, Katie. Hey, Katie, how you doing? We got to check in from Cherokee. What's going on, girl? Thank you so much for joining us. Teresa, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we go any further, we got to give it to the ladies who hold it down in the background on StreamYard, bringing us this YouTube Live and Facebook Live, okay? We can't forget to say hello and good morning to the ladies, okay? So thank you, Shantice. Hey, Shantice. Thank you, Anika. Hey, Anika. We give God thanks for the two of you that keep it going, because, see, I couldn't do both. No. We got our boy Terrence in the room. Hey, Terrence. Thank you for joining us. And we've got Asia. Good morning, Asia. Thank you for joining us. So before we go any further, make sure you smash that subscribe button and the notification bell. All right. So whenever we come up, you are notified. All right. We don't want you to miss anything. We got too much going on this channel. All right. This ain't on, the first time we're on. This is the first time we're on in the morning. All right. Well, I know y'all are tired of hearing Pastor Steph, and y'all have been missing your girl Vivian for quite a few weeks because Block Talk just wasn't making it happen for us. But let's say good morning to our girl Vivian and her Socially Conscious segment. Good morning, Viv.
Good morning. Happy Wooww Wednesday. How are you, Pastor Steph?
I am well. Hey, girl, I get to look at you. So what you think of being seen first thing on Wednesday mornings?
It was a little challenge rushing around trying to make sure I'm camera ready. But it's fun. It's cool. It's cool to be live. This is fun.
Okay. Well, you know what? You and Shantice do it every other Friday, pretty much, with all due respect. So now you just got to do it for us here on the morning show. So, you know what I always like to ask you. What you got for us today, girl?
All right. Today on Socially Conscious News, we are starting off with a caution to our listeners. If you have not heard, Amazon Prime and Grubhub have partnered together. So if you are an Amazon Prime member and you wanted a food delivery service, you can go to Grubhub and receive free deliveries. But unfortunately, that news comes with today's story, which is that Grubhub says a security incident allowed unauthorized access to the contact information for unknown number of customers and drivers. So I guess the scammers heard this new partnership was out there and they took this as an opportunity to go and steal some information. They're saying it's not clear how many users were impacted by the data breach. though Grubhub notes that contact information of campus diners, as well as diners, merchants, and drivers who interacted with our customer care service, was accessed. The data includes your name, your email, your phone number, as well as your payment information. So if you are one of those people who hopped over to Grubhub to take advantage of this new partnership, you may want to make sure you're checking your bank accounts and protecting your information as much as you can, because unfortunately now it is out there. Next, we have a story that is involving our justice system. Many people are upset because 67-year-old child molester has been recently released from prison on the compassionate release law. So his name is Kevin Ellis. He was convicted first in 1995 for molesting 2 children, and again in 2013 for molesting 2 children again. He also failed to register as a sex offender in the past. Prosecutors said that Ellis was sentenced to 112 years and 8 months to life in prison. And last week, a judge, Daniel Margree, granted the convicted man a compassionate release after the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation petitioned the court for Ellis to be released and resentenced. So this was back in 2015. So it's been about 13 years since he was sentenced to 112 years and 8 months to life. And he only served 6 months of that sentence. He was sentenced to 112 years and only served 6 months of that sentencing so far. And he is being released. So people are very upset about hearing this. Again, he was caught twice. He was convicted twice for molesting children, and he failed to register as a sex offender. So they're saying that in January, he was wheelchair bound and he came into court unable to perform daily activities. Prosecutors argued that the crimes that Ellis has committed does not require him to be mobile, and his compromised mobility does not lessen any risk to the public. As of right now, Ellis remains in custody based on the latest update. He is at a medical facility, and it is unclear when he will be released, but he will be released. Next, we have a continuation and or a update on a story Pastor Stephanie told here, and that is the lack of housing for all these migrants and immigrants that Trump and his people are snatching up. Well, according to reports, El Salvador has agreed to house violent U.S. criminals and receive deportees of any nationality. This agreement was announced after a meeting with the president of El Salvador, which was just one of the many meetings that was part of a tour of several Central American countries intended to consolidate regional support for the Trump administration's immigration policy. So they are going on tour to all Central American countries, or many Central American countries, trying to make up some type of deal and partnership with them to help them in this deportation thing. So they say the country will continue accepting Salvadorian deportees who illegally entered the U.S. He will also accept deportees and any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality. They're naming the MS-13 gang and the Tren de Aragua and house them in his jails. Those are 2 gangs that Trump really spoke about being part of the reasoning for him wanting to start this deportation thing. And In addition, he says he offers to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody in our country, including those of U.S. citizenship and illegal residents. Reports say it is unclear whether the U.S. will take up this offer. However, with questions around the legality of such moves, any effort by Trump administration to deport incarcerated U.S. nationals to another country would face significant legal pushback. So not only is he offering to take the illegal immigrants who are criminals, but he's also saying, bring your criminals over here as well. And even though that is not necessarily legal, it might just happen. Next, we have a listener submitted story. So we all know that President Trump is not one of America's most favorite presidents to date. But if you committed a crime and President Trump offered you a pardon, would you take it? One woman said, absolutely not. She is Pam Hemphill, who served 2 months behind bars and was sentenced to 3 years probation over the riots, explains why she rejected her pardon from Trump when about 1,500 others who took the pardon, they accepted it. And she says that she rejected it because she feels that MAGA, Make America Great Again, is a cult. She says she feels as though she was brainwashed. She says she was fed misinformation, and because of it, she played the victim for so long until she woke up and realized what was really happening. She said it would be a slap in the face to the Capitol Police officers, the rule of the law, for me to accept this pardon. Hemphill said about rejecting Trump's pardon, to our nation, I pleaded guilty because I was guilty. It would help their narrative that it was a peaceful protest that day. No, it was not a peaceful protest. It was an insurrection. I don't want any part of anything that Trump is offering. That is what she said. And she was sentenced to 60 days in prison and 3 years probation, as well as a $500 fine. And now we have our wow story of the week, which is a listener submitted story. The story of Denise Williams and her little girl, Aaliyah. Reports say that Denise Williams went to a Walmart out in Michigan to purchase a TV. On her way out, she accidentally dropped the receipt without knowing. And when asked by a Walmart employee identified as Trevor to provide proof of purchase, she was unable to do so. Miss Williams got the attention of the cashier who had just checked her out, and the cashier confirmed that the TV was paid for. But the Walmart employee, Trevor, was not satisfied with that, and he demanded a receipt to prove her purchase. There was some back and forth that went on, but Miss Williams somehow exited the store and was in the process of putting the TV in and or on her car when an officer, Lindsay Carter, approaches her. It is on record that Lindsay Carter has a reputation of being an excessive officer. Officer Carter walks up to Miss Williams and her daughter, and with her hand already on her gun, she approaches her and demands that she puts her hands behind her back and tells her that she has been accused of stealing the TV as well as assaulting Trevor on her way out of the store. Miss Williams tries to explain the situation, but Miss Officer Carter was not trying to have it. She grabs Miss Williams by the arm, punches her in the ribs, and forces her to the ground, and then proceeds to put her in a chokehold. All of this is going on while little 6-year-old Aaliyah is in the car watching. Aaliyah remembers that there is a firearm in her mother's car, which her mom has taught her to handle safely. She goes to get the firearm, gets out of the car, points the gun at Officer Carter, and screams, "Stop." Officer Carter sees the young girl pointing the gun at her and goes to reach for her own weapon, when then Aaliyah decides to let off one single shot, hitting Officer Carter in the eye. Officer Carter falls to the ground and is now deceased. Mom regains consciousness and awakes to officers on the scene, putting her and her daughter in custody. They do an investigation. They watch the videos. They see that Miss Williams actually did purchase the TV, and they determined that little Aaliyah was only acting in self-defense. Mom and Aaliyah were seen to have done no wrong, and they are released, and now Officer Carter is unfortunately gone. And those who are in the comment section are saying that Walmart employee, Trevor, needs to be held accountable for what has just happened. But this has been Vivian with Socially Conscious, giving you the news that we are following. And remember, if you have any wild stories you would like to submit, please feel free to direct message me. My username on Facebook is Vivian BM. And you can come back every Wednesday to find out if your story has been chosen. Thank you, as always, to our loyal listeners. And thank you, Pastor Steph.
Girl! Yo! Are you serious? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yo, this is definitely a wow story, Vivian. Yo, this is crazy. Woo! You know what? The camera was not on me, but you should see me. I was like, oh, I couldn't even help it. My arms was just all over the place. I was like, oh my God, am I hearing? This sounds like something, girl, from a TV show. Whoa, oh my goodness. Well, Vivian, we gonna get to talking about these things.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Whoa, all right. Where my girl Tamika at? Good morning, Lady Tamika.
Good morning and wow. Happy Wow Wednesday to you.
Yo.
How are you?
Yo, I am like breathless.
Yeah.
Yo, Tamika, this is crazy. K-A-R-A-Z-E-E, girl. Let's get to talking. Well, first of all, I got some comments, but I'm going to read the comments based on when we get to the story. So I'll kind of infuse the comments. Thank you for commenting. Listen, get in this chat with us. Listen, if y'all ain't got nothing to say about today's stories in our socially conscious segment, you ain't gonna have nothing else to say for the rest of the week. For real. So if you want to, hit us up and let us know what you're thinking, you got something to say, make sure you put it in the chat room so all of your fellow viewers can see what we talking about today. All right, we got DoorDash and Amazon that have both partnered together, and we see the commercial, so it's not a surprise that they have gotten together. But now here's another area for us to get this stolen breach stuff. You're not stolen breach, but you get what I'm saying. Now there's a breach in our information. Vivian saying our name, our phone numbers, and your payment information. What's going on with these people where every time we turn around, you've got some breach, and this is why the older people don't want to put their information in the system. What's going on?
I agree 100%. And it's sad that you should have to do that. Sometimes what I use is something like PayPal as opposed to using my actual card, because there is some safety in that. You have a little bit more security in that, when you use your own card, you got everybody can get a hand in it. And so if you pay by PayPal, At least they ask for a password before you can do any purchases. But you have to be ever so careful. And in our household here, although and we're finding it more difficult because everything is a card, we like to
Right.
use cash. And so
Oh,
we don't
okay.
really order, we don't do Uber, we don't do DoorDash, we cook. So that's a benefit. But again, for those who do, I would say, if you have the safety of something else, then do it. Because every couple of months, and I even get things in the mail, you've got a breach on this and a breach on that. So what can I use? It's difficult. And when you use your card, there you have less safety.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the catch 22 to this. That's the catch 22 to this. Let's bring up our girl Shantice and say good morning to Shantice. Good morning, Shantice.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay, thank you. I would love to see your beautiful face. You just so dark these days.
You know
But
what?
thank you so much.
I really believe God made me this dope that the enemy just keeps trying to interfere. Like I'm convinced. Like I'm really that girl. I'm like he's just like
Oh
whether
my
it's
goodness
the
gracious.
Wi-Fi going completely wacko or the lighting. But I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for holding it down for us. So, no sooner than Amazon and this Grubhub get married, then now we got another data breach.
Okay, please reiterate. I didn't hear any of Vivian's news, unfortunately. What was the data breach?
Okay, Viv, are you here? Are you live? I was like Vivian to retell the stories.
Yes.
Okay. All right. She may have stepped away for a quick minute.
Yes.
So you have Amazon and Grubhub. We've seen they've gotten married, and now, thanks to the thieves, there is now a data breach. So now the names, your email, the phone number, and the payment information is out there. And again, everywhere we turn, you keep getting all of this, these data breaches all over the place. And this is one of the reasons why, especially the older people, they're so not interested in putting their information into this internet, because once it's out there and there's a breach, then where do you go from there? Now you got to watch your, bank account. They got to send you this year of protection and all of this kind of stuff. So what say you?
Unfortunately, this is people's job. This is their career to now figure out how they're going to wake up the following morning and get you for your money. And it's like, but why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why is it that I can't just order me a mic stand from Amazon and some wings from Grubhub at the same time, get delivered, and have a good day? Why is it that it has to be all of this hostility if I want to order something? I know for me, I hate going shopping, like intentional shopping, when you like need something specifically and trying to go to the stores to get it. I cannot stand it. It's a lot better for me to do that online. And of course, Amazon is number one for having whatever you need, whether it's clothing, whether it's accessories, whether it's stuff for your home, whatever it is. So it's just annoying that once again, they just started putting the commercial out with the man in the Amazon uniform and the girl in the Grubhub uniform. And they both meeting up at the same time again. Like, oh, we have to stop meeting like this. And and it's like, oh wow, okay, I could do both. No, you can't, because now there's something else to worry about. So it's really annoying to even have to think that this is a thing now. Like, really, this is a thing.
Like you said, this is what people get up in the morning to do. We get up in the morning to be on the broadcast. People get up in the morning just to go do their job. People get up in the morning to jog and exercise, and people get up in the morning to protect the states. These people get up every day to sabotage, to steal, to cause and wreak havoc. And it is so annoying that, like you said, you just can't buy your little wings and things. You can't, get up and, just be comfortable with the ability to just purchase.
Right.
Just purchase. That's it. All I want to do is purchase my merchandise, go about my business. But yet this is, what people do. And here's my thing, no matter, listen, I told y'all a couple of months ago, I was done the day I got a letter from the Social Security Administration telling me that there had been a data breach for us recipients. I was like, yo, what are you doing? So
What?
if they can, yes, those of us who get Social Security, I don't know who else, but I know I got one. A notice that said, unfortunately, there was a data breach, and now, please watch your credit, and yes. So unfortunately, we're not free from all of this stuff. We're not. And we're gonna have to endure it. And I'm gonna be honest. Here's my theory, and this is what I always tell Auntie Pam. Listen, I'm just gonna have to put my stuff in here and pray, because there are things that I'm just gonna have to get that I can't go to the store and get. You said
Right.
I don't want to go shopping, but there are just things that we're gonna have to put our information out there, and we're just gonna have to trust God. And as a person who has been a victim of identity theft 3 times, as a matter of fact, I even told you all last year that I got 2 years in a row, I got a letter from IRS saying that somebody tried to file taxes, and they notified me because they saw something weird. And you just are not free from this stuff here, because again, this is their mission. This is their mission to get up in the morning, or while we sleeping, they're lurking.
Right.
And every single thing they put into place to secure us, they're undoing on the opposite end. So you're not going to ever really get away from this stuff here. Again, just be on the lookout. I always tell people, check your credit report, check your bank accounts and things like that. Always be on top of your stuff, so the moment you see something weird, you can flag it. Another hint that I tell people, make sure you have like a personal constant, something that only you do. And that way, if anything happens, that a lot of times has helped me. I would say to the people, customer service, listen, watch such and such a thing. I don't know what was happening at one point. I had a credit card, could never make it to my house. Never made it to my house. And somebody in Brooklyn was always getting this credit card. And I was able to say to the credit card company, watch how I sign stuff. There's a certain way I sign, and nobody would know that signature. So make sure you do stuff that's going to protect you, because it's you and God out here. It's just you and God. You and God
Seriously.
alone.
Seriously.
So just, people, do what you got to do to make sure that, you are free from, going through some major crazy catastrophe with your name. We got some comments here. Okay. So someone says, Anika says, gotta have that 2-factor now for everything. Yes. You got to jump through hoops. You can't just have that one password. You have the password, then they got to text you on your phone and whatever else they're doing. We have a check-in from, we got a check-in from our Phyllis Gilliam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, beautiful people of God. Amen. To God be the glory. Terrence says, here, I feel the online shopping makes us humans feel like we are, we are locked up and we do not have a life. We need to go outside and get that life back. It's true. Some people just stay in the house and hide. And where your vitamin D coming from? Because you'll never leave the house. Amen. And a nigga says, and we got Elon trying to seize U.S. data now. Yep. He's trying to do it in our faces. He's trying to do it in our faces. I think our girl Vivian. All right, Shantice. We got Vivian back on. So let's see what she's got to say about this data breach with Grubhub and Amazon.
Yes.
All right, Viv. Wait, is she on? You up, Viv?
Yeah.
What's your thought on this data breach? And now we've got to check all our bank accounts and credit reports and all of this stuff.
That's crazy how quickly they move, because I literally just heard about the Grubhub and Amazon Prime partnership. And then it seems like the very next day it was like, well, now if you got Grubhub, your information has been breached. So they move real quick. And you got to be careful. Maybe, like, my thought is maybe use a prepaid card that you only have money on there for, like, you know, if you're ordering food or something like that. Like, maybe if you can, I'm not sure if you can, because a lot of places don't even accept it. You're not putting your bank information in there.
Yeah.
But if you can, maybe use a prepaid card, or maybe have a separate card or bank account that you use specifically for, like, ordering food or something like that, just to keep the rest of your money safe. But try to put something in place to keep yourself safe.
That's a good idea, actually. That's a good idea. That way, if you know, but like you said, some of these merchants, they don't accept, like, one of those people, like, you can't even buy like the gift card. You can't buy a gift card with a debit card. You can only buy a gift card with a credit card. So sometimes, but if they don't have those things in place, that's not a bad idea, Vivian, to just make sure this is, like, maybe used for your online shopping, period. And that way, if anything, you just load that money as you make the purchase. So that makes sense. At least the rest of your money is protected, like you said. I like that idea, actually. I like that. All right. We got this 67-year-old child molester who twice was snagged for molesting children, 2 children each time, and was sentenced to 112 years plus. Wasn't just 112 years, but more than over 112 years, who, because of, what do they call it? This
compassionate release.
Yes, compassionate release. You are let go by the judge, and now they're saying that he's going to be let out. He's in a medical facility right now, but he will be let out. What kind of nonsense is going on, Tamika? Yo, they have lost their minds.
I honestly just don't get it. What is literally wrong with people? My thing is the fact that he did it not once, twice, 2 times, caught, and it's almost as though, like, they don't particularly care about our children's safety, and my thing is, if he's done it once, he can do it again, and he's already proved that. And so how do you get the choice to release somebody who has done it twice? And my thing is, he should be able to serve every single day of those times of years. The fact that you release them tells me that you don't care about anybody's safety. I don't have any compassion for you, considering the damage that you've done to these children, and the therapy that the parents are going to have to do, and way into adulthood. You're not just thinking about today, because they're going to come some days where this child or these children are going to go through things that nobody can help them go through but therapy. And usually the therapist has either gone through it or can help them pull them out of that, you know, and the damage that you've done. And you only served that period of time. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that is absolute madness. Straight up madness. Oh, Vivian, what say you?
Yeah, it's sickening. Obviously, if you sentence this man to 112 plus years, you was expecting him to die in jail. So if he gonna die a little bit sooner than you thought, so be it. So be it. They need to really consider the compassionate release, and the other one you spoke about, Pastor Steph, when the guy was getting out because he had a transgender child who was gonna miss him, and all of this stuff. They're criminals. They're criminals. I don't understand it. And what's gonna happen is he's gonna wind up getting street justice. Because let somebody find out that he's up on their block. They'll take care of that for you.
Yep. Shantice, what say you?
That street justice Vivian just mentioned just might be the fate God has for him. Because there's plenty of times in the Bible where, you know, you've had someone state like, you know, God, please, I think it was David at one point where he was like, please don't turn me over to man. Like, you deal with me. I'd rather you deal with me than you turn me over to man, because even with your wrath, there is always a level of real compassion. I don't know what this street compassion is that the powers that be that are supposed to be locking these people up have. I don't know what that is, but it just might be that God is like, you know what, going to jail might be too good for you. So I'll let you go out thinking you free. I'll let you think you free. But I got something for that. And you probably won't even make it back on the block before somebody takes you out. Or you might be able to make it on the block, but every single second of every day, you'll have to look over your shoulder because you know the mob is out there waiting to get you. And it's making me think about, for those who used to watch New York Undercover, and Pastor Steph, I know you remember this episode with the guy who was the molester and his mother still lived on the block. And they let him out. And when they let him out, he raped another little girl. Little girl couldn't have been no older than, I think, 8 years old.
Right.
And kept tormenting his mother. And the father of the girl went and did a drive-by, but ended up getting the mother. We don't know what this man may have to suffer now because you just keep doing what you're doing. But I don't understand what the compassion is, especially for something like that. You know, it's one thing when we hear about people doing stuff and you hear, well, so-and-so forgave them, and you like, that, they forgave that. You shot my pinky toe, you killed my mother, you did this, you forgave. But you talking about raping kids and molesting children. It's just like certain things. We know God says forgive everything. It's just certain things. It's like, all right, bro, there has to be some type of justice, and this might be justice. This might be.
Wow. Yeah, something to think about. You know, before I go any further, if you're in the room, make sure you check in and let us know so we can say a hearty good morning. Good morning. My niece is in the room. Good morning. I'm going to call her by her screen name, Kiwi. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. You know, this is sad. I'm trying to imagine a world where we can commit such heinous crimes and you still come back with this compassionate release. What compassion? Who has the compassion? Because clearly only y'all who's looking at this chart have compassion. Because I can't imagine 10 other people who would look and say, you know what, poor thing, he really needs to be out. Who cares? And as Vivian told the story, he failed to even register as a sex offender, which is mandated. So he's just all over, just doing what he wants to do. So if you have continued, not once, not twice, then you fail to register, you have shown that you are going to be a menace to society. Now, here's the thing. I don't care nothing about you being in a wheelchair. If you're in a wheelchair, too bad for you. Because what do these other people have to endure now that you've committed such a heinous crime? What are they gonna have to endure? Nobody cares about you being in a wheelchair. Listen, such is life. As we get older, we get sick, we get broken down. Such is life. So you just got to go through it. But these judges, I don't get it. I want to know who came up with this compassionate release program. I really like to know Vivian, did they say what state this was in?
I don't remember.
Okay. Because I can't imagine this being no federal thing. This is just crazy. We got a comment. The compassion is white. That's all. Yeah. I got to go back because Terrence actually commented earlier about this story. He says, I feel like, nope, that's the wrong one. I got to catch his other. If he was black, he would have been under the jail. Yeah. You know, when Shantice pulled up the picture, it ain't one of us they having compassion on. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Never.
No. All right. I don't know where Vivian went and got her stories this week, but El Salvador is going to accept anybody who the United States is deporting. Whether they're a criminal, whether they were just here illegally, whether you're even a United States citizen that they're trying to get rid of, they are willing to take any and everybody. Now, as she says, they're on a tour to see who can take back or who can take these people who they are trying to deport. And like I said, we talked about yesterday, they have over 8,000 people that they're trying to deport, but they have no place to hold these people. And in addition to that, some of their own countries have said they don't want to take them back. Now, I'm trying to figure out how that works, but El Salvador says, bring them on. Vivian, what you think is behind this? Bring them on.
I don't know. I obviously they're getting something out of it, but I can't think that is money because America is in so much debt that I don't see how they're able to afford paying any country anything for taking these immigrants. But I'm sure they're getting something. Maybe it's protection. I don't know, some type of resource. It could be money because America just throws it out there. They don't care how much debt they're in. But obviously they have to be getting something because they don't care that much about America that they would take on these criminals. Yeah, I didn't just say send the immigrants, or you didn't say on the low for the immigrants to run over to El Salvador, we'll protect you. But you made an agreement to take the criminals. That's strange. So they have to be getting something.
Yeah. I'm thinking what you thinking. Tamika, what you think is behind this? Come on.
Oh yeah, there's some money involved. The thing that scares me is, can you imagine what El Salvador would look like with all of these different criminals and all the crimes and all the people? It's a really scary place. And so my thing is, just as a resident of El Salvador, how do I raise my children? It's just at any moment's notice, anything can happen, and so it's a very scary place. You got rapers, robbers, everybody, and they're all just, come on. Some type of money deal is definitely going on. And, just like prior to, we said when they were coming here that there had to be money. We've seen it, and we keep seeing it. So, El Salvador has to be doing the same thing. But my thing is, how are you benefiting your country by bringing them in?
And the thing too is that El Salvador is known for being like not a safe place, for being a violent place, and they just got it to where they're attractive to where people want to go to El Salvador. And now you go and do this, like, how are you helping your country? You just got it to where people are like, oh yeah, go to El Salvador, it's nice, and da-da-da-da. And now you go and accept criminals into your country. People ain't gonna want to go there no more.
All righty. All righty. Shantice.
I think they found out about the deal. Uh, whoever had Mayor Adams or whoever had here when they said, "Okay, we're going to accept the migrants," and they're like, "Oh, we want in on that." All right, come on in, come on, let's go. Because there's no other reason why. There is no other reason why you would be taking in a bunch of anybody's. Because right now, taking in your kids is a bit much. Especially now, you taking in criminals. There is some financial gain. Ain't nobody doing nothing without there being some type of monetary gain. There is no way. So I think they found out that Mayor Adams and whoever else, whoever was above him, who really gave the okay for that, they found out what their deal was, and now they're saying that. And I agree with Vivian. There are so many. We can't even pick a vacation spot as comfortably because everything is don't go here, don't do that. If you go there, don't go to this part. If you go there, only stay at the resort. Don't step foot off the resort or you don't get got. Don't do. It's just like, all right, I might as well stay home. And now you want people to go, you know what I'm saying, over there. And no, it's just too much. It's too much. There's some type of gain they're getting out of that. And it's just really disgusting to even think that you would want this done.
Yeah, this is crazy. Before I comment, let me read some of our comments. We got a check in from AJ. Hey, AJ. Thanks for joining us this morning. We got a comment from our boy. I went to El Salvador for a vacation. And I'm so sorry. Please accept my apology. I cannot.
It's okay. Read that thing.
Okay. All right. I went to El Salvador for vacation. The guns the security have don't look like they play around like they play around with the prison, because they had their criminals in just one night. Ooh, okay. We got, I don't like this at all. I'm thinking all the future, and this feels like slavery in the works. We got to check in from our Pastor KL. Hey, Pastor KL, thank you for joining us this morning. But it's also crazy because they don't want rapists, but everyone else. So Terrence touched on what I was thinking. I'm saying to myself, what kind of work y'all need done that y'all gonna take in any and everybody? That's my thought. That was my thought. My thought, I wasn't thinking money, because like Vivian said, they in so much debt. But remember now, they're always swapping. And my thought was, okay, y'all got something going on over there where now you can take all these people in because you've got some mass work that needs to be done. Did you just inherit? Are y'all making license plates or something over there, and y'all need all these workers? And in order to get the people, get this work done, these people to come over here, and you could put it, you ain't got to worry about where they go, because you're probably going to put them in a certain area and they're going to have to work. So I'm thinking that that's what's going on. That's my personal opinion. I think this is something that they working on in the back, whatever El Salvador is doing. Yeah, because who takes United States people who trying to get rid of the United States? We ain't trying to pawn nobody off. But yeah, so you don't know what these people got in cahoots with one another. We got a comment. What international crimes does El Salvador expect these criminals to do, and where? What incriminating info do they have on the judge in order for him to release this person? That was my other thought when it came to the judge. Is this like a somebody that's kind of, what do they call it? They setting you up. They threatening you in some kind of shape, form, or fashion. Yeah. This is crazy. But it's crazy. Thank you for your comments. Let's see. AJ says, Oh, he says, of course, you're welcome. Yeah, this is something that we need to pay a special attention to, because we gonna hear about this later. Let everybody say Pastor Steph told us. We're gonna hear about this later. Okay.
Pastor Steph told us we're gonna hear about this later.
That's right. We will hear about this later. All right. So you have this woman. Now I did see this story, Vivian, about the woman who was a part of the insurrection. And when he pardoned everybody, she declined to be pardoned. And she said pretty much that, hey, listen, I was brainwashed. I was brainwashed to believe this MAGA business. And now I understand that MAGA is a cult. I'm not going to take this pardon because I was guilty. And I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't guilty. And no, I don't want the pardon. I'm just going to have to deal with it. I think she got like 6 months. And you know what? I don't want anything he's offering. What's your thought, Tamika, on this one?
I think that, considering the fact that she did the crime, that it's a brave move to actually do the time. Everybody wants to get off free for for the damage that they've done. And I think it's a brave thing that she said, okay, no, I did the crime, I'll do the time, and I don't know if anybody else has seen them, but I just think it's so amazing. These new videos that come out, I voted for Trump and made the wrong mistake. And I don't know, has anybody else seen them? It's a lot of videos that's coming out for people who have voted for Trump. And now they feel, now they see the damage that they've done, and how much more can happen, and so I think it's a real wise decision, or a brave decision to say, listen, I did it. I'm gonna eat it.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Shantice. Tamika says, hey, you're brave. You're brave, and I tip my hat to you. Would you say no thank you?
No. I feel like if the Lord knew what I did wrong,
we're going on the Jesus side with that part.
The Lord knows and sees all. He knows what I done did. And he says, you know what, Shantice, I'm going to give you that pardon. And I don't know, it could be like the molester. God could be pardoning me from jail so that I could get my punishment on the other end. I don't know. But no, I don't, as a Christian who is honest with the Lord, learning to be a little more honest with the Lord, I don't know about being in no jail. I'm sorry, in a courtroom. I'm trying to envision myself standing in a courtroom and they're talking to my counselor, who's probably a public defendant because I ain't got no money right now. And they're like, okay, so Shantice has committed such and such a crime, but you know what? Under Penal Code 949C, it's been decided that she gets a pardon. And I'm like, stop the foolishness. I done did this thing. I demand that you keep me in custody. What? Listen, I'ma just have to repent on the outside of the jail. I see this more of like possibly God putting this on her heart to do so that it speaks values to everyone else who maybe doesn't have a conscience of what they did, of being a part of that, where it's like, now, your attitude is still very nasty towards this. And let's just say they shut this cult down. You might be wanting to start the cult back up or start a whole other thing or something like that. Maybe it's something to speak values to them, like, wow, like she really feels that conviction. But I can't say that would be me. There's not enough alcohol in the jail system to get me through a night. No thank you.
Vivian, what say you? Would you accept that pardon?
I don't think I would. But I don't really feel like she was very brave and all of that, because had the punishment been more severe, I wonder would she have taken that pardon? Because 6 months in prison and $500 fine, Like, it wasn't that much of a punishment for me to be like, oh no, I'll accept my punishment, or to be like, no, I don't want to go to prison. So I'm not very impressed, honestly. I'm not impressed. And because she's not of our color, and because she was part of that whole melee, she ain't gonna be put in the worst part of the prison. She's gonna be put in some nice prison. Like, she wasn't really facing that much of a punishment. Yeah, she wasn't really facing that much of a punishment. Yes. So I'm not very impressed with the fact that she turned down the pardon and accepted her little 6 months and $500 fine. Now, if it was a bigger punishment, I would have been like, wow, good for her. She's going to spend 3 years in prison, and she going to have to pay this $15,000 fine or something like that. So I'm not really impressed. But I don't think I would have taken that pardon either after coming to the light. If she really felt like she was brainwashed and she woke up and realized how much of a cult they was, I wouldn't want to be a part of that either.
Well, Vivian, girl, let me tell you something. Shanti said there ain't enough alcohol in the prison system to keep her drunk and undisturbed by the conditions and her surroundings.
And clean.
I got it.
That's the alcohol I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the drink. I was talking about the rubbing alcohol. Ain't enough alcohol in the stock. Whoever makes it, they can't make enough. Not the drinking alcohol, the rubbing alcohol.
I thought you were talking about getting drunk. I don't know why I thought that.
I can never be that drunk to forget I'm in jail. With the dirt. And I done been drunk. I don't think I could ever get that drunk to look over and realize there's still a whole lot of dirt stains that will not come up. And somebody else slept on this mattress before me and they didn't sanitize it. And somebody else wore this jail uniform before me and they didn't burn it. That no. Just kill me. Kill me. And God forbid I ever get sentenced for anything. Due time late, wild ladies and the viewers, just set up the funeral. Okay? I am not going to make it. I will not act like I'm about that life. I am not.
I am with you. You know I am. You know we are doing I'm praising in my soul. My entire soul. Like, oh my gosh. I remember one time being held in a facility, the holding facility, while, because of a minor issue. And they were like, sit down. I stood there and I walked from wall to wall the whole time. I wouldn't touch the gate.
Wait.
They stuck their hand. They was like, you want some water? And they were sticking the cup through the bars. I was sitting here and swallow. I will swallow my spit for hours. No, I'm with you. No,
Lady Tamika, I had to go to the emergency room. And they took me in the back and told me to sit on the stretcher. And I happened to look over and they had a white sheet on it that had some old blood stains that they looked like they tried to wash out. And I just started crying. And I said, I am healed. Y'all can let me go. I am not sitting in here. Why y'all didn't burn me?
Oh my gosh. I surely thought it was alcohol. I like I said, I don't know why, knowing who you are, I didn't realize what you were ultimately saying about the rubber alcohol. But here's my thing. Wait, let me get the comments out the way. Wait. Terrence says she feels guilty inside. That's why she did not accept the pardon, or she knows something we don't. Okay. And don't want to be a part of that cult. I got some. Glenda says, love the honesty. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, going back to the other story. I'm sure this is what these comments are. You all need to stop stressing yourself. This is an old white man country. They are the master of wheeling and dealing. The biggest crooks in the world. Money is their God. Absolutely. They will sell their mother and father. So what chance does a stranger have? Absolutely white. Absolutely. Listen, here's my thing. I spent all of 36 hours in going through the process, and I thought I would die. I said, Lord, this just I just can't do it. And later on, I found out why. I had to suffer that punishment. But I said, God, you ain't never got to tell me nothing twice. You ain't got to never tell me nothing twice. If she said, I'm going to stick this out for 6 months, I give it to her. She didn't, whether she did 3 years, Viv, 20 years, she was 6 months, I give it to you. But I have to be honest. I'm with you when if this is really going to be something that I'm going to admit that I did, then I'm gonna have to eat and just be grateful to God that it was only 6 months that they were offering, because it could have been more, because some of the other people did get sentenced to more time. So it wasn't just 6 months, but all in all, if you're gonna be honest and you gonna do the thing, then do the thing. Then you just go ahead and do your 6 months, and you know what, you're guilty. And see, it's different when you're guilty versus when you're not guilty. I was in there for something stupid that did not happen, what I was being accused of, and you are admitting that you did something wrong. So in all honesty, if you did something wrong and all you got was 6 months, because they all should have gotten more than 6 months. And she brought up something about like this, there were people who died based on all the melee. So you know what? If they could have been a part of this mass, normally what they do is, remember now, if someone dies in the commission of a crime, everybody's guilty and everybody pretty much gets a nice amount of time. So 6 months and somebody died based on what your involvement was, whether you held a sign, you stepped across that threshold of the White House, you were guilty. So getting 6 months, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a big pardon already. So I agree. If you're gonna do the thing, then go ahead and do the thing. Eat them 6 months and be happy. I agree. 100%. All right, we got our wow story today. And boy, Vivian, I'm giving you the first leg on this one because you're gonna have to leave us first. Girl. What say you over this situation?
Crazy. When I was watching the video and listening to what happened, I was right with you. I was there like, what? Wait, what? She got the gun? What? And then when she said she shot her in the eye, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it definitely sounds like it's something from a movie. That is absolutely insane. And for you to for Trevor to be the reason that all of this goes down because you just wanted to pull your power and to use your power, he needs to go to jail for murder. You are the reason why this officer is now dead. Regardless of the fact that she was just overly aggressive, she would not have been in that position to be overly aggressive had you not called the police and lied and said this woman stole this TV when it was confirmed that she purchased the TV. So he needs to go to jail for murder. And I'm thankful that the little girl and her mom were released, that they're not serving any jail time because they did nothing wrong. And even though they were on this side of the fence, I'm happy to hear that they did not have to go through anything. They were released and found of no wrongdoing. But Trevor, if he don't serve no jail time, he needs to face some street justice. Because you were wrong. That is wrong. You lied and called the police and lied. You made a false police report. And now this woman is dead. Now this girl, regardless of the fact that people are calling her a hero, now she has to live with this. She has to face this. She just murdered somebody at 6 years old. So he needs to face something.
Crazy. Shantice. Woo!
Okay, so this was actually one of the only story I was able to hear some of it. Well, who was Trevor? He was the store owner?
He was
No,
an
he was
employee.
just an employee there.
Oh, okay. He definitely gonna get some street justice because his name is out there. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it, pal. You're gonna get it. I think whoever set this little girl up for success, they didn't set Raina and Tyreek up like this in power. I'm trying to understand.
You know what?
Well, I'm serious.
You
It was
know
like,
what?
where was they needed this type of energy? The 6-year-old had the reflex and the sense to understand I have to protect my mommy. Like, wait a minute, excuse you. I just hear a little too much going back and forth between you and my mama. So let me not draw this weapon. Because I feel like you was about to do something. Now I gotta get you, but we both get got. Because unfortunately, there's no telling what these cops will do. Because the cops are known to get away with anything. So I shoot the mom unjustly. Wait a minute, this baby is old enough to talk. Now I gotta kill the baby. We don't know what these cops will do, unfortunately. So I agree with Vivian. Unfortunately, now this baby has that type of memory, and now she has to, even though she was justified, but still growing up with the fact that I've done this. I agree with thanking God that they ain't trying to give her no jail time, because you'll have compassion on the 67-year-old white man, but yet you'll lock up a 6-year-old black baby for defending her mother. So kudos to that. But yeah, Trevor, if you're listening, you might as well go to El Salvador before they send you, bro. You might as well book your flight from now, because you gonna get it. They done released your name. That's horrible. What was the point in you lying about that? He tried to get her number. He probably tried to talk to her, and she said no. He got mad.
Vivian, there's a question that's coming through. Was she black or white? Now I understand she's on this side of the fence. The girl and her Aaliyah, the woman and her daughter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did they say the officer?
They couldn't find any pictures of her or Trevor, so they only had the picture of the little girl. I don't know if the officer was white or not.
Okay. I don't know if I said hearty good morning to Tracy Adams, but welcome, Tracy. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and sending in your comments. We got some comments here. Whoever the product checker was needs to hear from this woman's husband, hearing that his wife is dead. That's why Shanti said, Serge, he needs to get on that plane to El Salvador. Terrence says, I'm proud that a mom taught her child self-defense. Yes, but also sad for the child growing up. We do not know what she's going to go through, and the security guard needs to be shipped to El Salvador. Shanti's, somebody else is saying, get on that airplane in El Salvador. All right. Anika says, yes, poor baby, the trauma at 6 at that level. And Serge says, Trevor has to receive street justice from the officer's husband. It seems to be, there are people who just like to stir up stuff and they want to see stuff happen. And, like you said, Vivian, it was already confirmed that the merchandise was not stolen. And I thought you were going to tell the story of something that I saw on, I think it was Instagram the other day. I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok, but someone dropped a receipt outside of Walmart. The person picked up the receipt and went shopping and got all the stuff off the receipt.
Wow.
And walked out the store with the stuff because you got a receipt. Yeah. So that's actually what I thought the story was going to be. That's why I was like all in the background, like, oh my God. And when you said the little girl shot the officer in the eye, I was like, oh Lord. But when you said that the woman was dead, I was like, oh no. Because this is some tragedy. And I agree with all of you who say, too bad this baby is going to have to go through her life knowing that, this is what happened. And, mom had to teach her. How to defend. Now, I don't know if I want to teach my children how to use a gun.
Right.
Because God forbid, the gun could go off and now shoot mom. That gun could have actually hit anybody, could have shot herself. She should have shot herself. So I don't know if I'm going to agree that, she should have taught her how to use a gun. And especially now that, it's not an intruder, or it's not a burglar, somebody in the house or something like that who's posing a different level of danger. But definitely this here Trevor, he definitely needs to go to jail, and does not need to get the pardon, or what you call that thing, that release thing, compassion release, because the compassion is not necessarily on Trevor. Now, we talk about the little girl, how she's going to make it. How is he going to he has to live with this. So even if he doesn't realize now that he's the cause of someone dying, you're going to have to eat this thing where you are responsible for somebody's life unnecessarily for something so stupid. So I could see this happening. In all honesty, I could see this part about, you just want to push this thing. You gonna go and get, somebody, the cops. You gonna call the cops despite it all, because they're just people who just like to stir problems. There are people who just like to stir up problems. So, this is a serious tragedy, something that cannot be undone. And when they were saying that she had dropped the receipt and she said she had purchased it, I was saying to myself, well, this is easy enough to find out. Go back to the register. They'll be able to tell. Or so somebody at one time, something happened and all they had to do was look on my card, something like that. I don't know. It wasn't like a drop the receipt or anything like that. But there are ways. And once that was done, it should have been it.
Right.
So, this is what happens. And unfortunately, hey, such is life, and we have to live with these things. We're going to say a hearty see you later to our girl Vivian, who is checking out right now. She's reached her time. Thank you so much for your contribution into today's conversation, Vivian, and we pray you have a blessed day. All right, Shantice, we're at literally a half hour left, and I'm not going to go into any topic at this point. Well, you know what? There is something that you and I can talk about. And because our lady Tamika is actually had to step away for a minute.
My growth.
You know what? There's something that came up today for today's show that I actually picked up. Okay, so check this out. You and I can talk about this. So out in Turkey, and y'all can definitely help us with this chat because I'm definitely interested in knowing what y'all say. All right, so you've got this OnlyFans model who was arrested. Now remember, this is in Turkey, for vowing to sleep with 100 men in 24 hours. Now, she's trying to break this world's record. Now, this is real. This is real. This is a real story. She's 23 years old, and she wrote on her page or whatever, she says, I'm targeting 100 men in 24 hours. And she wanted to go past that because the world record that's currently being held is a woman who claims she slept with 1,057 men in less than 24 hours. Now, there's another woman who has exceeded the 100, but again, this is just her. She got 150. She's got 150 people to sleep with her, and she filmed herself because she got 150 barely legal college men. Barely legal college men to jump on board with her. So, let's see if I can turn this mic off. So now you have this entire problem because they've arrested her. Now, not only did they arrest her, but they arrested her husband. Now, I'm not sure why they arrested the husband, but they arrested the both of them. She went somewhere to get some surgery, and they snatched her, who's, like I said, she's 23. The husband, who's 25 years old, they snatched him up. They let him go, but they're holding on to her. Now, this is for optics. This is for attention. But what are we doing?
Why is this a goal? Why is it a goal to sleep with one man that you're able to record? If you said, you know what, by the end of this week, I want to sleep with one man. Why is that a goal? Why is this a goal? Wait, now you said they arrested her husband?
They arrested her husband, and I'm still trying to look through this article to find out why they arrested him.
Now, you have a husband and your goal is to sleep with men.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that's troubling about this scenario. The fact that this is a goal at all, and the fact that, so are you and your husband sleeping with the men? Because I'm trying to understand what man is okay with that, unless he's pimping you. Or unless he's into that sex life and he wants to be in that act alone, whether it's watching, participating, whatever. So it's this is just like what? And you know, Pastor Steph is making me think about the video we saw on Instagram the other night when the girl was like, I did this for my kids.
Oh yeah.
And she did all that stuff, but then ended up not getting paid for it. Not only ended up getting paid for it, but ended up with less money than what she had because it was a scam. And it's like, but why are these really the challenges? And these are the records that we're trying to break. Not, you know what, I want to be the first in my family to go to college. I want to be the first in my family to get married before having kids. I want to be the first to actually. So she's getting arrested for what again now?
Because so she's trying to break the Turkish record. All right. The other numbers, I kind of got a little clarification as I went through the article again.
That's feedback.
For some reason, we're getting some feedback here.
Yeah.
All right, so she has this. Record. So far, all the other records that I've spoken about, those are personal. Those are records throughout the, world.
Right.
But Turkey does not allow this. That's the problem.
Okay.
Turkey does not allow this. So now, this is why they've arrested her, because they're like, you know what? Wait, I want to give you the terminology. Shatis, get rid of that extra box that's there so we can get rid of this feedback.
Your extra box?
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty. So we have, I want to get the I want to get the terminology that the Turkish authorities used. And they said that this is damaging to moral values and provocative to society. That's their thing. That's their thing.
Provocative to society.
Damaging to moral values. Now, that's why they arrested her. But should they have arrested her for the threat is what I wanted to talk to you ladies about today. What do you think?
Yes, because we don't need no other little turkey girls thinking that this should be a goal that they should be aiming for. So yes, let them see that when I make stupid, reckless goals like this, I'ma end up in jail where there's no rubbing alcohol. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because this that's what I say, this speaks so much on you and the fact that you have a husband. Goodness gracious. But yeah, she definitely needs to, because before she infects other people, and you gotta get killed for that, we just gonna stop you in your tracks. Absolutely. And if they had more laws like this in other countries and states and cities and blocks, like if block associations even had this type of thing, they would be so, like, the whole trend would be dying out pretty much.
If it's funny, I want to read this comment. Terrence says the husband is the cameraman. They're getting their money. Good morning. We got to check it from Renee. Good morning, Renee. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Money. I brought this here not because, we know how we feel as a Christian community. That's not that wasn't the point. Is, well, you know how we feel. We ain't gonna say that we agree. I wanted to just talk about the mindset of women these days, where like you said, who would think that there was a husband involved if you weren't a pimp? And normally you see these people, these women who do these things, most of them are single women. But I think it goes back to what Terrence was saying, the notoriety, the money, she's going to get all this money and things like that when she breaks the Turkish record, as far as she was, that was her goal. And now, this notoriety is going to bring me a couple dollars. That's all I care about. And what are you doing to your body? That's my thing. What are we doing to our bodies when we can even get involved? There's only 24 hours in a day. How would that even be something that I would even consider? Why am I putting myself is here? Why are we doing it?
You're definitely sleeping with more than one at a time. Because unless think about it. Like you said, there's only 24 hours and you're talking about 100 men. When you think about the woman's body, there's no way you're climaxing back to back like that and then able to perform again repeatedly, like just back to back to back to back to back. There has to be some type of water break or something. So there has to be some type of group session. It's almost like when you think about women who have like a bunch of kids, especially in a short amount of time. 9 times out of 10 people's like, okay, they have to be at least 1 or 2 sets of twins, because you talking about she done had 12 kids. Those are 12 separate labor times this woman done had. It's like something like that. But it's why she wasn't disturbed. But not only that, Pastor Steph, like you said, her body. So you're talking about you didn't just put yourself through cosmetic surgery. Then right after that, now you're indulging in all of this sex. People think that there's no connection as to, like you said, how this damages your body. And it does. You're supposed to be resting from when the surgery is mandatory. Now you're talking about an elective surgery. You don't know how your body is going to take to this. And now you're getting your unhealed body up, and now you're allowing all of these people inside. It is like, what are you doing?
Why do we feel so low about ourselves? And these are the things, and this is one of the reasons why I brought it. I was like, some people may not be able to stomach this conversation, but you know what? Listen, this is one of the reasons why the church is failing the world, because everything is taboo. We need to understand this is what women and men are actually doing out here. And this is so disturbing that you would be willing for notoriety, because that's the immediate thing. Terrence mentioned money, and I believe that money has to do with it, especially if the husband is involved. There's got to be some come up for him as well. But the first issue is notoriety. You got to get the notice before you get the money. Mm-hmm. So, you have thought and have come to think of yourself so low that this is what I need to do. And see, here's the problem. When we see other people do this, now that helps me to believe I could do this too. There's a woman who said she slept with over 1,000 men in the 24-hour period. First of all, ain't no way in the world I would believe that. That's why the writer, even in the article, it says she claimed she slept with these people. There's no in the world in 24 hours that you just would just be like a dummy, a dead person, and just lay there. There's no way in the world that you could even be, or somebody drugged you and you just ain't there, quote unquote. But you know what we need? This is a pray for them. This is a true pray for them, where is this our sister? Is this our cousin? Is this somebody's niece? This is somebody. Mm-hmm. She's just in Turkey. But what are our young women, because she's 23, what a Gen Z, what are you putting yourself through? I'm sure that this is not the first time this is come up. People probably have done this before. This is just this OnlyFans website or thing where everybody gets to know what you do. This is a time where everything goes on social media. Years ago, if you did all of this, nobody could know, unless you found some way to get to the news. But this is a real pray for them. This is one of the reasons why I'm kind of dropping this in the room, because this is what the world is adopting as normal. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Them arresting her, Shantice, is saving her from her. Yes. They've just done her a favor. They've really done her a favor, because you don't know what the repercussions is behind even your attempt to go that far. So thank God for the authorities who say, that, hey, we're not going to allow this thing here, and we're just going to arrest you. And again, they let the husband go because they really couldn't hold him on anything as far as they were concerned. But you know what? If he was in cahoots with her to do it, you could have found something to lock him up for. Y'all finding all these other things that you could lock people up for. You could lock him up for something too. But ladies, here's, I'll save that for my closing. Thank you, Shanti, so much for your contribution and sharing this last story with me and your contribution into today's conversation. We pray you have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. We got our comments. That part. And then she'd be mad when people call her out of her name. Absolutely. Terrence says, we all have to remember that this is nothing new. It's just we are in a time where everything is in the light. Now, sex always, even through the music. Yes, sex even through the music. Boy, oh boy, boy, do I have to get my eyes taken care of. I can't see a thing. But thank you for being patient with Pastor Steph. This is a scary world we live in, where we can do these things so comfortably that we are trying to break records, that we are bragging, that we would see someone else's accomplishment. And I'm going to say it just like that. It's an accomplishment. It's something that someone else has done. And now we want to get, the notice. We want to get the money. And we got partners. What happened to the man who is the provider and the man who is protecting? And what happened to that? It's like that just went out the window. That just simply went out the window. And who are we partnering ourselves up with, ladies? There's a reason why I brought this up. And you said, well, you bring this up on a Christian. Yeah, because this is real. This is real. This is life. And who are you partnering yourself up with? Is it a man who's going to sit back and watch you do all of these kind of things, and because there's a come up for him, he's going to actually be a part of this? Or is it going to be someone who's going to look at you like you crazy and go, okay, no, we got to do something better than this? People gravitate to people who are just like them. And this is why we have to work towards making a conscious decision, as Shanti says, to change. This is why we have to make a conscious decision to choose God. Because if we don't understand that our thought process is just deteriorating, our logic is deteriorating, the love for ourselves is deteriorating, our love for this world is deteriorating, self-preservation is deteriorating. This is what's happening under the banner of being a part of this world, that you would actually do things that you don't think nothing of. I couldn't even imagine putting myself through that type of trauma, where I think I'm going through this for notice, or I think I'm going through this for some type of accolade. I really want, in the Guinness Book of World Records, for somebody to have a picture of Stephanie, and that's the caption beside it. We have to think about this. This stuff is real. And again, conceptually, what are you doing to you? You don't have to be sleeping with 100 men in 24 hours, but what are you doing to you? That's equivalent, and you might as well be sleeping with 100 men. Because remember, everything is connected. Sin in the eyes of God is sin. There's no gradation where she's going to give away her body to 100 men in 24 hours than it is to somebody who's going to go rob a bank, or someone who's committing adultery, or someone who is, murdering someone. It's all connected and it's all the same. And we have to become real aware of that, because that's the bottom line. And the more we pay attention to the things of God, the more we gravitate to the things of God, the more we look and see the world for what it is. And the saddest part about it is we just literally have people who live in this world who figure they don't need God. But I'm going to tell you something. God is the only thing he's the glue that holds us together. Even with God, it's hard at times. It is very difficult at times. I cannot imagine being ungodly right now. And has nothing to do, I'm not smashing anybody. I'm not, putting anybody down. I'm just telling you the difference. I have been in a sinful life, and I didn't do these things. I ain't do nothing like this, but I did what I did. And I realized that, no, it's got to be something better. It's got to be something better than this, which made me start paying attention to the word of God a whole lot more. And the more I tried God, and the more I tried God, and the more I tried God, and the more I put God in place, and the more I settled on not doing it my way, but doing it God's way, the more I realized that, you know what, I can't be doing no worse in this particular situation than I am now. And I might as well try God because it could only be an improvement. The more I understood that Jesus is the answer. But if you don't ever try God, then you can never understand that Jesus is the answer. It doesn't work like that. The more we stay in this world, the more we'll gravitate to the things of this world. And that's exactly what's happening here. That we are gravitating, Terrence said it, money, money, money. The love of money is the root of all evil. So many things are done because of money. So many things are done because of popularity. The popularity is going to bring us money. It's always a goal. And a lot of times it's money. But whatever it is, whether money is behind it or not, it's still not what God has designed for our life. God has not designed my life the same way he's designed your life. God has not designed your life the way he's designed someone else's life. But he says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God created each and every one of us for purpose, on purpose, and with a purpose. And it is surely not to live the lives that we are seeing these people live. The stuff that we put ourselves through is nothing worse than what somebody else could put us through. Because see, here's the thing. We can always escape from someone on the outside. But wherever you go, you take you. You can't run from you. So if there's some hatred, some self-hatred, if there's this low self-esteem, if you're lost and you're depressed and you just can't see your way clear, a person is not going to be able to help you get better. People can't help us get better. The word of God tells us that man will fail us every time. God makes the difference. So ask yourself today, as I heard about this woman who was willing to put herself through sleeping with 100 men in 24 hours, as I heard of the Guinness Book of World Records, where women have done more than that, what am I doing to me? How am I destroying me? What can I do that will indicate that I love me? What do I need to do to begin to understand that I need to love me? I have gotten this low because everybody's low is not everybody else's low. Some people have to hit a rock bottom that some of us will never know. And sometimes we got people that it will only matter when they hit that level of rock bottom. Your level of rock bottom was on one level. Their level of rock bottom is much lower. But you still could be at your rock bottom. What are you going to do now? Are you going to stay there? Or are you going to go to God so he can build you up, pick you up, put you on that mantle and say, look at what I've done. Only God can do that for you. You can't do it alone. Ain't no husband gonna help you do it. Ain't no wife gonna help you do it. Your children, your co-workers, can't no OnlyFans membership, any other porn, or you out there doing whatever you doing. You got all this money, fame and fortune. That don't matter. You are still going to die on the inside. And once that inside is dead, boy, the only comeback comes from God. So what we gonna do today? Are we going to continue to put ourselves through what we're going through? Or are we going to say, you know what, let me try God. Let me see what difference he makes. You know, Pastor Steph and all these people talk about try Jesus. Let me give him a try and see if he makes the difference that they say he's going to make. Well, I promise you, he will make the difference. I'm not here to tell you that once you try God, it's going to be about flowers and roses and, you know, it ain't nothing going to happen and you're going to feel good all the time and you ain't never going to shed a tear. No, we still living in a fallen world. But we can be in this world, but not of this world. But living in this world, we're going to need God. Oh, you better believe you going to need God. Because it's not going to happen for you any other way than if you were to make God your personal head of your life. That needs to be your focus. That when you get up in the morning, you're serving him. Your mind is determined, I'm going to serve God. That's the least I can give him, to serve him. He keeps me going. He keeps me breathing. He keeps me moving. Everything about me. I couldn't exist. I couldn't have anything. All good and perfect gifts come from above. There's nowhere in the world. We may think we're living without God right now, but we're not. So come on and join us so we can tell that story to the world, that Jesus makes the difference. Okay? All right. Well, you know, I got to check in, you know, for all of our sponsors. We've got Craft Corner. Our tumbler is made by Craft Corner. It's Due Time with Pastor Steph tumbler. It is fantastic. It is heavy. Trust me, it is heavy. It's a whole lot going on here. If you're a big drinker, that's what you want. Craft Corner. Shantice, make sure you put that information in our chat room. Pastor Steph has on another shirt today. And thanks to our embroidery manufacturers, it's personalized. Make sure if you want something that shows and lasts, listen, everybody's doing cricket. Everybody's doing, and they have some beautiful work that's being done with the vinyl. Oh, I've seen some gorgeous work. Unfortunately, it does not have the lifespan as embroidery. I have a shirt that's toe up, arm all messed up, the holes all in the bottom, but that design is intact. We can make sure the shirts that we wear or whatever your material that you got is going to keep, but that design lasts a whole lot longer than anything else that you will ever wear. Okay. Make sure you check us out. If you want to hear the rebroadcast, make sure you check us out on Spreaker.com, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, as well as Spotify. We can also be found on Audible.com as well as Amazon Podcasts. Find us. We're all over the place. Due Time with Pastor Steph is all over the place. Check out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can check out every single ministry we got going on here. We've got the Word Prayer Project on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. We've got My 2 Cents. We're going to be reviewing some movies this week. I'm going to put it up on my Facebook page, Coach for Christian Life, the movies that we're going to be reviewing. I saw Emilia Perez. We're going to be reviewing Emilia Perez. We're going to be reviewing Conclave. We're going to be reviewing Nickel Boys tomorrow night right here on YouTube, A Closer Walk Christian Talk Show. All right. Now, also, check out your girl, Shantice and V. You heard them here today. Yes, the one who gave us our Socially Conscious segment, and your girl, Shantice. They hold it down every other Friday on With All Due Respect with Shantice and V. You will not be disappointed, I promise. You've been listening to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. as you go through your day. Be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off. And I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. The ladies always hold it down. Thank you for hanging out with us. And man, this chat room, blow up that chat room. Thank you so much for talking back. I love you all for supporting us. Please don't miss this opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later isn't promised to any of us. Until tomorrow, where it's Therapeutic Thursday. Until then, God spares. I love you.